Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Terence Leung and Leung. We just talked about that. And Cody Stuart. And Terence is the media and external relations supervisor. Is that correct?
That's right.
Awesome, with CREB. And Cody is the content and image coordinator for CREB and is also the gentleman, the technician that's running the camera, doing everything. You're the guy in the field, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you both for coming on. We've heard, we did a segment on Matterport last year at some point and mentioned that the technology existed, but we didn't have an easy provider for it at the time.
I think when we did it, there was one person who lived in Okotoks.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's how long ago we did it, and that wasn't super accessible. So it's great that CREB is offering it. That makes it so easy.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's refresh everybody. Cody, kick us off. You deal with it every single day. What is Matterport?
Short answer, it's Google Street View for your house, for your listing.
Oh, I like that.
So instead of browsing through a neighborhood and seeing what parks, what streets, all that, what other houses, you can browse through a house and see every room, staircases. It's just like walking through a house in real life, except you're on your phone or your laptop or your iPad. Unlike a photo, you're there. Like, you can look up, look down, look in every direction. Anywhere you have scanned, you can go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why don't we, just before we talk about it anymore, because I think then once they see it, it's better for everybody, why don't we switch to a quick demo?
Sure.
So this is right off of realtor.ca.
Yep.
Okay.
So we just go to the multimedia link.
Oh, what happened there?
No. Well, here, we can just switch straight to it. So you can set the view anywhere to start. You can either go to this view or you can switch to, it's called a dollhouse view, so it just gives you a top-down. But this is essentially as soon as you walk inside the front door, so you just tap the next circle, and then you're in the living room.
So obviously your navigation is based off of these little circles that you see kind of down the major pathways, and then what you're doing is you're just clicking on them to move around.
Yeah, so if you're on your phone, you just swipe through.
Okay.
And each circle is a spot where the camera has sat and scanned.
The user can also obviously pivot themselves.
Yeah.
Right, just like that.
Oops. Let's just move this back.
Maximize the screen there.
Yeah, you can even maximize it on the green one. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
There we go. No worries.
So yeah, you can look anywhere. You can look at the ceiling, the floor.
Now,
here.
contrary to a virtual tour, which we've all seen, see, I love that you can, instead of just having a single pivot point in the middle of the room, that you're looking at a room where the 360, which is always fisheyes and distorts everything and stuff. This is, I mean, you can go to any point in, you can have a look, you're getting the detail. It's like you're standing in the living room. You're on the other side of the couch now. Like, it's amazing.
Oh, look at that.
And the photographer decides the pivot points as well, which you can dictate a little bit as well. As a realtor, you can determine what would be the most valuable for the viewer.
Yeah. So like here you have a nice stove. So if I remember correctly, I believe I put it one right here. So then you can kind of.
Oh, nice to really be able to see the finishings and the
Nice wolf range there.
Yeah.
Can I ever make a request?
Sure.
Can we go up some stairs?
Sure.
I've always wanted to. In all the samples I've ever seen, I've never gone upstairs or downstairs. We can go downstairs too if you have a favorite.
So what's so neat about this, and I've talked to a few people using this technology, obviously making sure the house is not cluttered because people can zoom in on
Look at that.
Literally like walking through the house. How long does it take you to do one of these tours?
The average house is about, I would say, 90 minutes.
Okay.
I've done, I think the largest house I've done was 7,400 square feet. That was about 4 hours.
This is incredible.
Now, Terence, while they're doing this, take us through, because obviously you can see this house so well, and you guys were talking about the benefits of this for areas outside of Calgary.
Right. So, if you're in places like Claresholm or Didsbury, which we've done shoots on already, you might not get to see that foot traffic that a listing would have, say, in downtown Calgary. So what this provides is for users to be able to, essentially their own private open house.
Nice.
and and to refer back to it later. If you go view a house, sometimes you might come home and you might say, oh, what was that kitchen like, or what were the finishings like? But with the link like this, they can always go back to it and view it again.
That's fantastic. We once had, well, not us, but the leading real estate companies of the world conference that I was at, they had, this is just, not saying anybody even would do this here, but there was a realtor who was working with an out-of-town buyer client. And the buyer's agent actually ordered a Matterport video for the listing for the buyer because this listing agent thought it was so good. And the client really loved the photos, thought it was great, and was like, oh, put in an offer, right? Like they couldn't come. And the realtor was actually, I'm going to get a virtual tour of this because I want you to be able to walk through the house. And the buyer's agent purchased it for an out-of-town client, which I thought was really slick. To your point, how do you get people who can't actually see a listing through the listing? Love that.
Yeah, less accessible places, it's absolutely huge. One of the things that's so neat about this is that clients, you're going to get, the people that come in and see the house are way better qualified too. It's like you don't get the same tire kickers or things like that because you can actually walk in and see it online. And that's obviously, a beautiful, beautiful home there. So give us, you said there's some limitations of some of the exterior shots or?
Yeah, they're pretty good about continually adding offerings. Right now, the camera itself, which is right here, doesn't handle infinite space. It needs a wall of some sort, even if it's just glass. So if you have a very, very large patio or backyard, it's very difficult to scan. If you get a very overcast day, you can get away with it, but for the most part, it doesn't handle outside well. But what you can do is you can take the camera outside and do a 360 view, which you can link back to the tour itself. So it's not so much a virtual tour, it's essentially a panoramic picture.
Okay, nice. Because there is a big distinguishing difference, which historically the technology was just, you spin the camera, you stitch a bunch of photos together, but now it's an actual 3D rendering.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's also the floor plan that comes out afterwards.
Yeah, it does floor plans as well.
Tell us about those. People love floor plans.
Yeah, people love floor plans.
Unfortunately, I don't have any here, but
okay, no worries.
That's okay.
It's just a top-down PDF. Everything's labeled.
And does that come as soon as you purchase the video, you automatically get a floor plan?
No, you would have to ask us about it because I'm unable to order it until the tour itself is processed.
Okay.
But it's just a matter of clicking a button and
It
a couple
happens.
hours and it spits it back to us.
Wow.
How much does it cost? What's included?
For the 3D tour itself, did you want to take this?
No, go ahead.
It's $225 inside the city. It's an extra $50 charge for the immediate surrounding communities, and then beyond that, it's a negotiated fee.
Fair enough.
And then if you wanted the tour and still photos as well, that's $299 in the city. And yeah, that's about it.
So yeah, and obviously you're in the house, you're doing the photography at the same time.
Yep.
That's awesome. So it's one stop, and you get both of them done.
Yep.
It makes it
Well, and
convenient.
for that $290, I mean, we were talking about earlier that a lot of realtors for a standard good set of photos are probably looking around $160. So for, about $100 more, this is a pretty great thing to have. And, part of it, I know, realtors are always looking just, how can I brand myself, right? Like part of it is just be the realtor that does this for their listings, right? Like to your point, we were chatting about how many people are doing this right now and not that many.
No.
So there's actually a big opportunity for you guys to kind of be the first to market, to be like, this is one of the things that I do. And as you share these videos, I think a lot of people are going to say, I want my house to view like that.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I'm going to jump around here a little bit, really quick. Terence, how do they get this? How do they sign up for it? How do they request it?
You can find the link on CREB link. It should be just right there. It says 3D virtual tours.
Yep.
The other thing you can do is just email us at info@creb.com.
Okay.
Or just call us directly, and somebody will set you up with a booking.
Nice.
Do you know about how far in advance somebody has to do it to get an appointment?
You're probably better equipped to answer this, but
It honestly just depends how busy I am at the time.
Okay.
The more notice I get, the more flexible I can be. So if somebody tells me they need a scan or photos done in 2 weeks, I can pretty much be there exactly when you need me to be there on the exact day. If you tell me you need one tomorrow, it's a little more difficult.
And after you go into the home and you do all of this, what's the turnaround time?
The turnaround on the Matterport is great because I don't really have to do anything else. I just get back to the office, hit a button, it uploads, takes 5-10 minutes to upload. Matterport does their thing, usually shoots me back an email that, maybe 4 or 5 hours later, usually that night, next morning. and that would be back to you right after I get it.
What about the photo, if somebody orders the photo package as well?
Photos are a little more difficult. Again, it depends on how busy I am. Our promised turnaround time is 3 business days. I would say 9 out of 10 times we beat that. Usually it's next day, but it just depends how busy
Of
I am.
course.
So important, again, just a little tip for you guys out there is that you can't get a listing up the next day. Like, it's just not feasible. The seller may ask, hey, we're in a rush, maybe how quickly can you get this up? And I get it that you can enter it in a matrix that quick, but you really want to put your best foot forward with this, making sure that the property looks beautiful, talk to your client in advance, get the listing signed up, and then the additional terms right in there. Property will be going on MLS in a week and a half, 2 weeks, whatever it happens to be. Give yourself the proper amount of time, because the initial set of buyers who have already looked at other properties, have already been set up on searches, are going to be the most educated, and you really want to make the property shine when it goes up online. Now, we also talked about a couple extras. There's also additional things that can happen. Lots of people have seen Matterport in terms of virtual reality and the glasses. Can you speak to that?
They have. They've developed it further since the earlier version, but yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of getting the Google Cardboard mount. You pop it in, pop your phone in, load this up, and you can do exactly what you're doing here, but right in front of you.
Nice.
And it's literally like you're there.
Wow, wow. And then also you said logos and comments. Explain what that is.
Yeah, we haven't done a ton of it yet, just because there hasn't been a call for it. But you can go into the Matterport. Well, I can go into the Matterport, and if you wanted to point out the Wolf Range or whatever, you just put a note there. You could put new carpets, whatever. You can put whatever you want, and the note appears right on screen.
What would be cool is that if you had a, similar to this one, like if you had a $2 million listing, one of the things that realtors will often do is, get little classy notes to put around the house that point in different features. It would be really neat to have, the little Google VR glasses right there and say, do one trip yourself and then do another trip with the glasses, so that you could walk around with the glasses with all the text overlays, like while you're in the kitchen and you're turning, all of the different features would just pop up.
Yeah.
That could be neat.
Yeah, there's some really creative things that can happen here, and I hope that our group utilizes the services to get out there. I know that you can win a lot more listings by just showing the marketing that you're able to do for the properties, and this is a great benefit. So, Terence, thank you for bringing this to CREB and setting it all up.
Thank
and
you for having us.
And Cody, you guys have done awesome work, and the tours that we've seen so far are just outstanding.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. All right, well, reach out to them. You guys all know how to access CREB and click buttons, so by the sounds of it, it's pretty easy. So hopefully you guys will hear from some of our people soon.